Yeah. Hey. We're gonna get started. So welcome to TEL number 90. We were very quiet about it, but this also happens to be the 10th anniversary of TEL. A decade. So yeah, back in February 2014, when we were in a lovely little fluorescent lit box on Esther Street, we started TEL. Sorry, started TEL. We hosted and we continue to host, so it's a special occasion. My name is Greg Newton. I'm the co-founder, along with my partner, Donnie Jochum, of the Bureau of General Services Queer Division. That's the queer bookstore you are in right now. If you're not already on our email list and you would like to be, you can sign up for that at the back of the store and or on our website, bgsqd.com. And you'll find out about all our upcoming events. We send that out every other Monday. And our hours, our regular bookstore hours are Wednesdays through Sunday from 1 to 7 p.m. So I'm just going to read a land acknowledgement and call for a ceasefire. And then we will get this party going. So the Bureau acknowledges that our organization operates on the unceded land of the Munsee Lenape. We encourage you to join the Bureau in signing up to make a monthly donation to the American Indian Community Houses Mannahatta Fund. The Mannahatta Fund, according to its website, is an invitation to all settlers and non-native people who wish to acknowledge the legacy of theft and genocide that comprise the history of New York City and the United States. And you can find out more at mannahattafund.org. We also want to recognize that today is the 134th day of Israel's genocidal campaign against the Palestinian people, funded by our tax dollars and enabled by our government's unwavering support. We hope that you will join us in calling for an immediate permanent ceasefire, an end to the siege, and an end to the occupation in order to stop the collective punishment of Palestinians and to ensure the swift delivery of much needed food, water, medicine, fuel, and medical aid to the people of Gaza. And now, please give a very warm welcome to our host for all these 10 years, Frey Campbell.
Woo, woo, woo. Here I am. Yay, welcome.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Oh, and hello, people online. We're live streaming. Yay, this is for you. For you. I just, I have to move my, what?
Do you have an OnlyFans account?
This is actually, we're streaming right into my OnlyFans. Right into it, just woo! This is what my OnlyFans looks like. It's like cutting a Snickers bar and then like, yep, cutting a Snickers bar. No, not really, just eating it. Just eating it. So I came up with this theme, Take Heart, a while ago. Not a while ago, but 3 weeks ago, maybe. Kind of in line with like how fucked up everything in the world is, for one, and just trying to like hold on to each other, hold on to community, and also I guess like a little bit I'm a romantic and like thinking about Valentine's Day and, that's just trying to like say, take heart, like have courage, connect with people, have a heart, look into your soul, do something. No, that was just for me. It was just for me. Oh, yes, yes. Live, won't you? Oh, but so yes, we've been doing Tell for 10 years. This is the little 10-year anniversary, which I take heart talking to myself. Take heart, Dre, just because you fucked up and didn't make a big giant celebration, 10-year anniversary. No, this is a big giant. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't know. Babbly doo, welcome to you. So 10-year anniversary. And as many of you know, I think most of you know, Cecilia Gentili passed away. And I may cry, I may fall down, I may scream, but because I'm still processing it, it's really difficult to imagine a world without Cecilia Gentili in it. I think like many people who in the English speaking world have heard the words pillar of the community. And I really like in my soul did not know that I didn't know what that meant until we lost Cecilia. I know that like she was holding us and holding, just holding us. So many of us who didn't even know they were being held, she was out there like transforming our lives with laws and shit and talking to people that she probably didn't want to talk to so that she could fucking like get laws passed and make sure people had hormones or homes, lives, safety, and laughter, really. And she was truly, I mean, in the obituary in the Times, they called her an irresistible storyteller, which I can attest to. She was here doing Tell. I think she was at the second show, and I think I have a picture. I have some pictures up and a couple little videos I want to show you of Cecilia, in case you didn't know her, and if you did, you can just reflect on the brilliance of her and be reminded, and continue to grieve and hold space in your heart and for Cecilia. Can you see anything yet? Okay, so this is from the second show, and that was down on Hester Street. And there she is up in the corner. And I actually don't remember how I met or knew of Cecilia, which I think is how a lot of people are like, hey, how did I meet Cecilia? I have no idea. Like she was just there. She was just in it, And she told.
That was the second one?
I think it was the second one, yeah. Or maybe it was the Pride one. Right next to her, you can't see as well as is Penny Arcade, resting her little head on Cecilia's shoulder, and RF is there with the glasses, and that's Eli Wade. So Cecilia told this amazing story. I can remember almost every story that everyone has ever told in 10 years, like if you ask, most of the time. But Cecilia told this amazing story, and I think it was the first time I had seen her tell a story about when she was young. And she met, obviously I'm not going to do it justice, but she met some other, she was sort of like coming out, becoming trans in Argentina, and she met someone who was like, I can get you hormones. And they gave her male hormones. And she told it as a funny story. So she's like, this is a crazy thing that happened in my life kind of vibe. Like I was growing hair, like it was not doing what it was supposed to do. And anyway, that was just one little diversion on her trip and her journey of becoming who she became. Yeah, her beautiful smile, her beautiful soul, her beautiful person, her story's amazing. And then let's show a little one of that's another tell that she did. I think that was turn-ons, maybe. She talked about all her crazy turn-ons, which She doesn't hide shit. She will tell you the whole thing, honey. She will tell you the whole thing, which is what we love about her. And then there's a little video.
If I can,
Thank you for your patience on this. We just threw it together last night. I'm like,
I
right,
get,
here's some links.
yeah, why, how do I get this to, there we go, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, this was just a moment from turn-ons. You gotta hit the little volume.
And I never know a word in English for this. It's called descampado in my country. It's like an area that is like woods, the woods, the woods, the woods. And so I was walking in the woods next to my grandma's house, and I saw the first time that I saw two people having sex. And for a moment, I thought that he was killing her. And then she looked at me and did this. And then I turned around and I got so scared that I started running and running and running and running and running. But from that moment on, I think it made a mark on me, and I get turned on by seeing people getting it.
So that was that little moment. That was just a little clip.
Makeup, you were saying that it turns me on. It turns me on.
Ah.
a lot.
Yes, I
I
do.
put me on like that time when I was like 3 years old, and I was
We'll just hear this over.
in
I love a
Oh,
pop.
so now this is an amazing story that she told in Joe's.
seeing trans people being able to thrive as whatever they wanted to do was something that I never thought I would have an opportunity to do. Somebody told me, like, if you want to do something else that is not sex work, you should have a resume. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm going to talk about like, the things that you know how to do. Well, I make people feel happy. Excellent customer services, right? And we did a resume that was beautiful now. It was beautiful. And at the end, when we finished, she said that also put like you're familiar with Word and Excel. So I went to Happy Chat and I did a job interview, and guess what? I got the fucking job. I met my boss, and my boss is like, okay, you're gonna have 40 clients, but we're gonna give you 20. You're gonna start with 20, and then we're gonna give you another 20. So these are your 20 clients, put it on an Excel sheet and bring it to me. This is what she told me about. This is the Excel sheet. When I went to it, I started to cry and cry. And this other trans person came to me and she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I lied. I lied that I know how to do the Excel sheet. So we sat together and she told me what an Excel sheet was and explained how to use it. And then, she's like, attach it to an email. I'm like, oh, she said, okay, you do it like this. You just drop it with the mouse. I'm like, oh, okay, this is magic. And I was so excited. And I wrote, here is the sheet that you asked me for. Now, if you think of the word sheet in Spanish, if you think of the word sheet in Spanish, it's S-H-I-T. And that's how I wrote it. I wrote it thinking in Spanish. So my first email to my boss was, this was the shit that you asked me. I could have lost the job the same day. But I was for me right away, this meeting, bosses in the room. They're like, we just want to make sure that this is not the vocabulary that we use every day. I'm so sorry, I'm thinking in Spanish. And I kept that job, and I started that job with 9 trans patients, and I left Apicha 4 years after with 650 patients. And I moved to GMAC, where I was the director of policy there. Who was gonna think this sex worker, undocumented trans woman from Argentina leading the policy department at GMAC. And I moved from there. hope from there to open my own company where I get to employ 10 trans people, you know. And all of that started with a person just igniting that little flame in my head that I could be something else. So do that with yourself, do that with those around you. Let's ignite each other's dream because they come true. Happy Pride. Woo!
Cecilia, 1, 2, 3, everybody say Cecilia. 1, 2, 3, Cecilia. Ah, again. Cecilia.
Oh,
Cecilia. Oh, God, I love her. She just gave you the blueprint on everything to do. So that was it. In that one story, everything you need to know, she just told you. So, you know, let's ignite each other's dreams. And then I'm putting her, there's a legacy fund, a GoFundMe. Here's the info on that. You can give to it. Let's get it. You know, it's at 45,000. We're trying to get it 520,000. So keep it going, share it. You can get the link for me. I think I have the link on my Instagram. Yeah, but you know, it's easy to find. You can search it on GoFundMe, but it's all over the socials. If you follow more than 2 queer people, it's probably on there. If you know more than 2 queer people, they probably have it tattooed on their body. They better. No, I'm kidding. Who's getting Cecilia tattoos? Are you? Yes. Yeah. Are you gonna, what do you? Yes, but I know, I was thinking about that. I was like, is it gonna be this? Is it gonna be this? Are we all going together? Are people, you know, I think that was it. Yeah, I showed you a little collection of just to, you know, reflect. No, thank you. I'm so grateful I got to live in a world with Cecilia and be like in proximity, and I wasn't like super close to her, but I got to know her, and I have felt her hands on me. I've done a show with her. I got to hear her stories and breathe the same air as her, and I consider myself blessed for that reason. And you know, she's a real pillar of the community, and I already miss her, obviously. Yeah, so, and I want to send condolences out to people who are close to her and who are also suffering, and yes, we love you, baby. We love you.
She was a walking, talking revolutionary all to herself.
That's true,
With
yeah.
every step she took,
Yeah, I also wanted to share this, that on Thursday night, we hosted an event called Watermelon Pink, at the crossroads of queerness and Arabness through the lens of Palestine. And Afif, who opened the event and was one of the 3 panelists from Lebanon, talked about Cecilia and how inspiring she was. And in the short time that he had gotten to know her, she was super active in protesting on behalf of.
She was there
God.
day one,
Yeah.
day one protesting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
With a lot of joy.
yeah, with joy, like getting other people to
Yeah.
do it, yeah.
Yeah. So that was just another reminder of how many lives she
no.
touched.
I don't know when she slept, honestly. Like every story I hear, it's like,
Every person I know is like, she took me personally to the clinic, you know, all these just tons and tons and tons of testimonies of what she did for people. It's extraordinary, especially like undocumented people, trans people, people who needed to know how to navigate systems that she was unafraid, you know, so yeah.
Trey,
Yeah.
there is a tribute to Cecilia what was going to be her show,
Mhm.
April 3rd.
April
At
3rd
Joe's Pub.
at Joe's Pub.
It is now going to be a tribute, and there are
It-
tickets available.
Right, it was supposed to be her Red Ink show, which was her
Yes.
one-person show. And by the way, if you're interested and you want to support, you have Faltus for sale here, right?
Well,
Did you sell out?
not surprisingly, we just sold out.
They just sold out of Faltus. Okay, so more copies of Faldas by Cecilia Gentili, which is an amazing book, which her one-person show is based on, is forthcoming, but keep an eye out and you can purchase it other places, preferably queer bookstores like this one, or this one.
Next week.
It'll be here next week, so maybe put your order in. Has anyone read Faltas or seen her show? Yeah, I saw her show, I guess, not long ago, recently.
Couple months.
Yeah, a couple months ago. And then it was moving and I was like, I hope this goes to Brooklyn. She was too young. 52, yeah. She had her birthday party the week before and you were there, right? At the birthday, you lap danced.
I did.
You gave her a lap dance.
Little did I know.
Little did you know.
They caught me flat-footed. Otherwise, I would have worn my garter belt.
Oh, where are my glasses? I'm gonna bring, are we ready for our first storyteller? Do you see this? Where are my glasses? No.
Hi, Grandpa is here to do the show. Where's my damn glasses?
Now you know why old people are funny. I mean, not funny, but funny. Concerning is more the word than funny. I'm gonna bring is our first storyteller ready? Are you ready for our first storyteller? Okay, so the theme is take heart, yay! Okay. I'm gonna read a little bit about him, before we bring him up. Gilberto Soto is a first-generation Mexican-American stand-up comedian. Yay! He began comedy in London, and moved to NYC during the pandemic. Wow, I'm just like blown away by the first sentence. Like, all right, that's all I need to hear now. He co-produces 2 shows, Purple Park Comedy, showcasing upcoming POC female comics, and Mariposas Comedy, a curated all-queer lineup. Ooh, I'll be involved. Unless, okay. Okay. Alongside, unless I shouldn't, is what I meant. I send my resume. Okay, alongside co-producing, he also hosts his own podcast. Ooh, what's it called?
I hope this ages well.
Oh, I see that. I see that's what it says here. I hope this ages well. I hope this ages well, that's a brilliant title for a podcast, by the way. Which centers around the interesting lives of senior members around NYC. Oh, around, huh? In 2022, Gilberto was featured on 3 showcases for the New York Comedy Festival. Everybody out there and in here, please give it up for Gilberto Soto.
That's so nice. And yeah, that interview was so cute. That really touched my heart. As I was seeing this, I was like, oh, I wish I would have interviewed her for my podcast. We're on our 2nd season. I'm not trying to plug it, but I partnered with Sage. Are you familiar with Sage? Anybody familiar with Sage? Yeah, so I partnered with Sage quite a bit, and I'm like, this season I want it to be all queer senior members. So if anyone here self-identifies as a senior queer member that wants to be interviewed, let me know. It's actually quite fun. It's quite fun. It has a comedic twist to it, and you're getting self-volunteer, so I'll get your information later. But no, yeah, I really like it. Cool. So look, I have 2 stories today that I want to talk about. They're kind of somewhat similar theme, all around love, to a degree. I wrote it down because I didn't memorize it because I had some auditions this past week for comedy that I was concentrating on. So I was like, let me take my brain memory for that first. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, cool. It's called prioritization. My therapist is proud that I'm doing it. Okay. All right, so let's go. Okay, so hi, I'm Gilberto. I'm 33 years old, and I'm in that sweet spot in life where it's supposed to be amazing, right? Anyone else feel the pressure, or just me? Like, I remember when I celebrated my 21st birthday, everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is your entrance to adulthood, and it only gets better from here." And then I celebrated my 30th birthday, and then all I hear is, "You're healthy, your parents are good, your skin is tight, enjoy." Because it only gets harder from here. So now I feel like this ripe avocado where my time is to shine now or never. Right? Also produced from Mexico and shipped to the US. And every birthday is a reminder of that. Okay, so my birthday always lands around Easter. So all my cakes and presents are usually the discounted Easter branded things, right? I'd always get a rabbit of some sort, and now rabbits are my favorite animals, but I'm not sure if that's really because I love rabbits or I was just groomed to think that's what I should like. And so since we're in the West Village, for some reason this matters, I'm an Aries. Or as I read on the internet, because I don't know much about it, people born on April 5th, 1990, that's my birthday, are governed by Aries. Governed, like my birthday is also a political statement. My element is fire, so if you're cold, you can just hug me and I will warm you up. But if you hold on too tight, I will give you 3-degree burns. And that pretty much summarizes who I am. A common characteristic is that I'm constantly seeking messages behind the scenes, which is very true, and that's what my story is about today. I take dreams very seriously, and I had a dream on a 29th birthday, and it left me thinking, and I wanted to share it with you all. So I call this dream, because I do name my dreams, Birthday Baby Love. So that's the dream. Okay, so as a gay man, it's one of the first questions my family asks, right? Who are nosy, they ask, are you gonna have kids? Or as my mom responds when they ask her, is your son gonna have kids? She says, no, he can't, he's gay. And I'm like, Mom, I can still have kids. And she's like, oh yeah, but she just forgets, you know? And then you have to think, right? You have to think like, okay, as a gay man, do I want to adopt or do I want to do surrogacy? And at this stage of my life, it's like, whatever there's a Groupon for. Like, do I want to have a baby? Yes, I do. And how do I know? Well, I had a dream on my birthday. And this is not like an MLK speech, but I did have a dream. And in my birthday, dream, I had my child. And I never asked who the mother was, because in my dream, I'm still gay. And even though it's a dream, not everything is possible, right? So in my dream, I was so happy. Like the happiest I've ever been in real life or in dream life. Like I was showing my baby to everyone. I was like one of those moms, you know, the ones that are super pregnant, they hold their belly so everyone knows that they're pregnant. And I'm like, we get it, girl, you got laid. Like that's how it was. And so I woke up from my dream and with a big smile on my face, I'm not exaggerating, it was the first time I felt happiness and felt truly complete. Like what a birthday present, right? And for that split second, I felt like I had some direction in my life. Like I knew the path. So there I went, living my life, walking the path where I knew I was headed to fatherhood. And then I stopped. And then I had to think, and I was like, how would I raise my child? Would I baptize him? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, my child is a boy. He can determine if he's a boy later on, but in my dream, he was a cute little boy. So like, I'm like, okay, I grew up Catholic. Should he? Then I'm like, what language should he speak? Well, I grew up speaking Spanish, the Mexican kind, so I assume he must as well. And I don't know what his heritage is going to be. And then I thought, wait, my child in my dream was white. Of course, it must have been from a white woman, but he still have mine. So in Mexican culture, he is 100% Mexican. So yes, he would learn Spanish and he would live with his grandparents in Mexico every summer to really learn the culture, but more importantly, so I can go to my annual Mykonos and Fire Island trips with my friends, right? Because even though I'm a father now, I am more importantly a young gay hot father. So good, I thought. Like that should cover the first 5 years of his life. I don't want to think too much ahead, but just to be on the safe side, I was like, should he go to public school or should he go to private school? And I'm like, I don't want my son to have special, like the social mannerisms of a private school kid, right? I need him to grow up with a good humor and be quick-witted, and because he's gonna be surrounded by a whole bunch of gay queens, but also Mexican women. So I need him to be able to compete. Okay, so I said to myself, and I kept walking, I'm gonna have a baby. Happy as I ever could be. What else is gonna happen in my life, right? Well, there are other life decisions I will have to make. Well, I moved to Italy, which is true, and I fell in love with coffee, but I don't want my kid to be a coffee snob, right? Because there are psychopaths and then there are coffee snobs. And honestly, I can't tell them apart anymore. And then I moved to London, which is true, and I met some of the best friends I've ever met in my life. And I'm like, maybe I should send my kid to boarding school so he can have international friends. And wait, how much is this kid gonna cost? I thought, right? Because now having a kid is so expensive. It's the top two most expensive things in life. Number one is having a kid. Number two is making a charcuterie board. Right? Because who knew those cherry tomatoes are going to be $8? And I don't even know if I like cherry tomatoes, but you know you need to buy them because they add that much needed color to the charcuterie board. So that was my birthday, my 29th birthday. And then a year later passed, and it was my 30th birthday. And the dream had come, and I forgot about it because I moved to New York, and as we know, in New York, life moves rather quickly. So as I was in New York and I was celebrating my birthday in Chelsea, having brunch, what did I have? Smashed avocado toast. Like, because what do you do when avocados get too ripe? You don't want them to go to waste. You smash them and then you sell them for triple the cost, right? So here I was in New York City, and I was going to have my slut era, and bam, bam. Oh, I lost my place. Okay, wait. I was gonna have my slut era, and bam. Wait. No. Okay, now let's go. Okay, so I was in New York, and I was gonna have my slut era, and then bam, I met the love of my life, Bob, right? And that's his name, right? And he's a little bit older than me, and he's a little bit white. That's how his name is, Bob. And we've been together for 3.5 years and happy, very happy. And my mom is happy, but of course, she's still putting her heterosexual norms on my gay relationship. Do you know what I mean by this? She's asking me the same question you would ask like a heterosexual couple 3 years in. She's like, Beto, when are you and Bob going to have your first three-way? And okay. No, I'm kidding. Wait, I said it. I kid. Kid again. Oh my God. Okay. So 4 days after my 33rd birthday, he proposed to me. Can you believe this? I got a white guy to propose to me. I feel like J-Lo. And you guessed it, Bob is going to be the father. Now, a couple things about Bob I think you should know. One, he is white, right? But just like the lady in my dream, he's also a little bit older than me. Again, the daddy issues, but that's a different story. And he is one of the most caring and kindest person that I know. And he does not want kids, like at all. No matter if I ask him in a baby voice, please, like, no, he doesn't. So what do I do? Right? Like I had a dream and then I met the dream. And so I don't know what to do. But what I do know is that I want to be with Bob more than I want a kid. And why, you ask? Well, just like in my dream, being with Bob is the second time I have really, and I mean really, felt true happiness and felt truly complete. So maybe birthday dreams are just that, a dream on your birthday and no more. So thank you. Okay, so let me see what is my second story. Okay. All right. So the second story is kind of a little bit from the first story. It's called Love Hurts. And so we'll just get into it, right? Okay, great, cool. Okay, so hi, Beto. That's how my dad would start his Facebook messages to me when I lived in London. And he was back in Washington State. And then he would say what he wanted to say, and then I would respond back with, I love you. And then he would respond back with a Superman emoji. And I interpret that as, go find yourself a hunky white man over there. Right? But I'm sure it was just like the first emoji that popped up for him. And that was usually his birthday letter to me. The relationship of a gay man and his father is special, right? Like special may not be always positive, but it does hold a different space than other relationships. And the Mexican heritage on top of that, it does get more complex. I mean, special. And I said I love you to many people, right? Before I said I love you to my plants, like, and I mean it. I'm like, I love you, please grow babies, please, to my plants. And of course, I said it to my dad, but when I say it to my dad, it's more like te amo. And that has a deeper meaning. In English too, but in Spanish, it just hits your core for some odd reason, and you crave a tequila shot right after. And my dad is a man of few words, which is good because I get lost when I read a story that has too many adjectives. Do you know what I mean? And then I wake up to a small, cool breeze and only a dim light to guide me. And then I go into the room unknown. All that to say, you needed to get up in the middle of the night to go pee. I'm like, synthesize, authors. But maybe authors get more money for every word that they use, is my thought. I don't know. But when I came out to my mom originally, I asked her if she was sitting down, and she's like, yeah. And I was like, I'm gay. Like, I thought she was gonna faint or something, right? And I was like, Mom, but please don't tell my dad. I want to tell my dad because it's really important for me to tell my dad. And then she told my dad. And I asked her, I was like, Mom, why did you tell my dad? I want to tell my dad. And she said, because I've been married to him for 30 years, I can't keep a secret. And I go, well, what did he say? And she says, he just held my hand and squeezed it and didn't say anything. I go, okay. So one day, he was going to sleep. And I went into his room and I was like, Dad, I thank you so much for loving me and accepting me and not judging me and still letting me be your son. And he says, okay. Okay. Like, how's your day going? Okay. How's that first bite of your food? Okay. We usually don't know how to communicate with each other, but I'm going to be vulnerable and extend a warm connection. Okay, sir, don't synthesize now in this case, is what I was thinking. But it's important to know as a kid, I love my mom and I love my brothers, but it's a different love for your dad, right? Like I would be at home around 4:30 p.m. And when that time came, I could hear an engine coming down the road. And I just knew that little purr from that engine was the only one of my dad's old beat up truck that was covered in dirt on the side. And I would jump with excitement and glee because I saw his truck pull into the driveway and my little baby hairs would rise and I would squeal and come out. And I know this is a story worth telling because all the adjectives I'm using. Because my dad was home. Yes, it felt like everything in the world was right when my dad is home. So to go from that to, okay, well, that shit hurts deep. And I need a tequila with lime, no salt, please. Right? And it's weird because I look at my dad and I'm like, how do you not want to know more? How do you not want to know who I'm in love with? How do you not want to know more about like, what my favorite food is, what my favorite color is, what my favorite song is? And then one day my mom turns to me and says, what's your dad's favorite song? What? What's his favorite color? Well, why are you asking me these things? And I thought, like, how can I have all these conditions around Mad Dad's love, but not give him an unconditional love back? And so now I still have to repeat to myself at times when I see him, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm gonna keep choosing loving you. And well, damn, I thought to myself, maybe I should write him a letter. And so this weekend, Drew, I wanted to write him a letter back. And I sat down on my desk and I drew a blank. No adjectives were coming to me. And the only thing I knew what to say and I wrote was, hi, Dad. And I don't know the rest just yet. Thank you so much. My name is Eduardo.
Roberto, yeah. You can find Gilberto on Tell Queers. I've tagged him in all of the promotions for this show. Gilberto Soto. Give it up again. Woo! I love hearing the two sides of daddy issues. Like being a daddy, having a daddy. You just really cover it. Was a very global storytelling situation where it's like, oh, what it's like to want to be a father, and then like, oh my God, I have a father. It's a lot, but it was so like wholesome and sweet and lovable and loving. Thank you. Yay. And also funny. Woo. Is our next storyteller ready? The second one, my friend. Yes. You're turning to no one and going, yes. I should try that. Yes. No one's there. I'm just gonna tell you a little bit and then maybe I'll read about them after they do their thing. I know this person personally, and I just want to say they're an amazing performer, dancer, and so I just did this show that I've been working on for years, on and off, and They are the understudy, and it's a 5-person cast, and they understudy every single person in the show, which I find really amazing because they know each role by heart, physically, the words, emotion, and it's like they're just ready to be called on. And I'm just like blown away by understudies in general, but especially by this one because I got to see how hard they work, and like they're just like making notes. They have like all this, like they have the script and they have color coded for each character and all this shit. And I'm just like, what? Okay, anyway, everybody please give it up for Manatsu. We love you.
Well, thank you so much for that beautiful intro. Like I'm like, oh, hi. Yes, so well, hi, my name is Manatsu. I use they them pronouns. And before I start talking about myself, I just want to share my words of condolences to Cecilia. And I'm from Japan, and I would like to express those words in Japanese. Just give me a couple seconds. And since we have Cecilia's photo up here, I'm just gonna talk to that area. Okay. Cecilia. Cecilia のご冥福を心よりお祈りいたします。Thank you. I'm non-binary, and I don't know really. I didn't have like any in-person relationships with Cecilia, but from all the stories that I'm hearing from the community is that Cecilia was humanity itself. Like she was humanity. That's what I'm hearing. Like she was such a beautiful person, and really seeing each single individuals in their humanity, not as like, oh, you're this person, you know? So, and then I hear those stories, and with all the work that she's done in the community, as myself, as a non-binary person, as an artist, I am committed to, and I want to use my body as a dancer to join the front lines of the trans dancers who are trying to bring more awareness and exist to resist, so that because the dance world is so binary, and I do want to join the front line of the trans artists as well. So I want to not only just retell the stories of Celia, but also want to be a student of her and be an active artist in the community so that I can learn from her and keep her flame alive. So that's what I wanted to express. And then, yes, thank you so much for having me. So, Take Hearts. When I got that theme, I was really thinking about, oh, like, what do I want to talk about today? Because that is, it could be very emotional, and I'm a very emotional person. So I would, and also I'm a Cancer. So I will take y'all to the bottom of the ocean within 30 seconds, and I don't care if you don't like water. So, but yes, I'm going to get emotional tonight. So just, so yeah, but yeah, just like, as you know, in the past couple of months, as contemporaries of this ongoing genocide, I think a lot of us are processing and acknowledging, storing, realizing all the rage, the shock, the trauma, the grief that's happening. And it's our bodies that are storing it, right? And as we store those emotions, those reactions, process those, I think there is a lot of unlearning that goes with it, that we are finally seeing and hearing the world as it is, and not through a filter from a certain perspective. And through this movement, I mean, you know, as a person, I was born in Japan, but I grew up in the United States, and I was always in between places. And when I'm in Japan, I'm too American to be Japan. And when I'm in the United States, I'm a minority. And also I'm queer. So like, I'm always like, okay, I'm just here. Please allow me, like, that kind of stuff. And growing up, like, I faced a lot of, like, disappointments of, like, okay, this is how the world is, like, that's fine. Like, okay, I'll just, like, stay happy and comfortable in my own community. I have my own people, fuck the world. Like, that was really like how I was, like, it was one of my survival tactics per se, right? But throughout the past couple months, especially really, really reassessing this learning and really reassessing how we view the world, how we position ourselves in this contemporary world, I realized that it's really the hope itself, right? Like, we talk about, like, love and hope, and where do we find hope? Where do we find positivity in the world? And we often try to seek that in, like, in bigger platforms, or like something that's all the way up there, and like, that's hope. So we see hope. There's a light on the other side of the tunnel, therefore we're gonna be okay. And I think that's how we perceive the world for the longest time. But within the past couple months, what I realized is that hope is within us, in our bodies. And it's that hope for humanity is generated within our bodies, because I truly believe that if humanity needs to seek shelter, it should be found within ourselves, in our bodies, in our hearts, in our very alive, compassionate, passionate hearts. And I say that because there are a lot of, like, movements and procedures that were taken as the world comes together and the demand for an immediate ceasefire. And we see the ICJ, and like we see the governments do, like, that's like kind of aligned with the people's voices, but also maybe going very opposite ways, especially with what Uncle Sam is doing is not aligned with the people's intentions. It's very concerning. It's very alarming, the disconnection between the people's intents and the so-called political leaders, right? And oftentimes I feel like we've been really, like, taking actions, using our voices, using our platforms. We've been screaming from the bottom of our lungs, using our bodies to demand what we need for justice, for humanity. But so many times we've been disappointed by these platforms and authorities and, like, so-called, like, bigger platforms, institutions, organizations, right? And yes, it's disappointing, but also what I realized and what I found from my community, from my people, is that, like, it's not that those institutions and those big platforms that we should be seeking hope in humanity. It's within ourselves. It's in ourselves. And the fact that we keep our hearts alive is going to be hope for our collective humanity. The fact that you have an alive heart, the fact that you have a heart that you can be sad and emotional and angry and happy and feel joy and be sad about something, that alive heart itself is going to be the hope for our collective humanity. Therefore, humanity exists, it needs to exist within us, and that's where hope is. Hope is within us, in our individual bodies. And because hope isn't with our individual bodies, there is hope in our collective humanity. That's what I learned in the past couple of months. And yeah, right? Like, and sometimes I see, like, because I also, I'm an empath. I suffer from the dissonance of the world and, like, people who are quiet, and I'm like, I'm going crazy. And it is sad to see some, like, human beings that I see, like, I see them humans, like, they are human beings like us. Like, we are all human beings, but to see another fellow human being with, like, kind of closed hearts, it really like makes my heart sad. And I don't want to see my fellow human beings, my fellow siblings, kind of like just offering themselves to be a cogwheel of this monstrous system, when I know that they also have alive hearts, you know? And I don't have an answer or solution to that, but it's just that like the fact that we have an alive heart is hope. And I do believe in that. And I lean into that because otherwise, like, where is hope? We can't find hope outside of our bodies. We can't find hope outside of our humanity. Our humanity is our hope. And I 100% believe in that. And so, you know, going on that, and that's why as an artist, I really, really lean into art, because art has the power to connect people, to humanize people, to keep hearts alive. And so as an artist, I am committed to use my platforms and my creative voices on top of my human voices to really keep our candlelight of our collective humanity alive and blazing and bright and vibrant. And if I see someone's candlelights, you know, kind of like, you know, need a little bit more of like flame or a small fire, then I'm going to give my candlelight to be like, hey, I got you know? And I think that's how like, that's like a new way of really keep on surviving and existing and living in this world where it feels like the world is burning and then collapsing. And in fact, I think it is collapsing, but we can't just let it collapse and be like, oh, that was a horrible era, you know, like that's not, as a, you know, as contemporaries of this atrocity, like that's not what we should be doing. We need to be actively be like, hey, we got each other. Let's keep our collective humanity candlelight burning. We can make into a bigger flame, like a campfire, and we can dance around the campfire of our collective humanity. I would love that. I would love that, you know? So yeah. Right? Yes. So yeah, and then to close off this little story of mine, thank you so much for your generous space and holding space for me. Yeah, I just wanted to say take heart to all of us, because yeah, and also recently it was Valentine's Day, so I've been thinking about love and like blah 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 blah. But this came out from my journal, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm a very romantic person. That I believe that humanity and liberation are eternal lovers. They love each other so much. Therefore, it is our hands, our hearts, and our compassion so that they can love each other in peace, so that they can love each other without being intimidated by other things, other horrible things. It is our hands that we are going to shelter them, and we're going to keep the love, the songs of their love alive and unforgotten. It is within our hands, and we can do that. So yeah, humanity and liberation are eternal lovers, and I believe in that. And I know that because I am in love with humanity. I have so much love for humanity, and I dedicate my love to humanity and our collective humanity. So thank you so much. Take heart. I love y'all so much.
I love you.
Manatsu Tanaka. Yes, give it up for Manatsu. They are the real deal. Everything that they just said, that is who they are. I've spent time with them, and yes, they're true blue.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
And just one more thing. Palestine Hadra, Palestina Libre, Free Palestine, Palestina Zero.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna pass this little donation bag. The money goes to the bookstore and to the storytellers. And if you want to do Venmo, it's at BGSQD, at BGSQD. I'm gonna just show this on the thing, at BGSQD. And we're gonna take a 3-minute break, and then we'll come back with 2 more amazing storytellers and me. Woo! Yay, thank you. I love you all. Community forever.
We'll be back, folks. Pause. Is there a pause option?
trying to. Now we're trying to.
Audio is back on.
Hotel's back.
We're back, girl.
We're back. Hello, theater person who said thank you back. That was Manatsu, wasn't it?
Oh, no, it was not.
No, that wasn't you. Who here does theater? Any theater people here? Ooh, ooh. Oh, okay, okay. The three people I knew already who were theater people, low key. Oh, why do I see myself? That's crazy. Hello. It's on a delay. Is there anybody watching on there?
There are 3 people watching.
Three people, we love you and thank you. I wish I could see who it is.
Hello, it's Papa saying hello.
Who's watching? Show yourselves.
They can't. They can't.
Hey, I guess I'll just have to find out someday. Oh, wait, I have to tell you a few quick things about myself. No, so I had, okay. I don't want you to be alarmed, but I had to go to the emergency room yesterday, but it started with me having to go to urgent care at Callan Lord in Brooklyn. Does anyone go to Callan Lord? Okay. It's like a very love-hate situation. It's like, oh, they say your name correctly and your pronouns. And then sometimes they don't know what your diagnosis is. And then they're wonderful people. Like it's a mix, it's a gamut, and we love them. They gave you your hormones, they give you everything. Right? Yes, I see that little twinkle. I love Callan Lord. I support them, etc. But I also, anyway, has nothing to do with it. I was having like, since Cecilia passed, I had been having chest pain and heaviness in my chest. And I was, just thought like, oh, this is, part of me was like, this is grieving. I have a small heart condition, a minor one that is like not an alarming scenario. It's like a birth defect. But I have to like just monitor, so I was like, let me go to urgent care. It had been going on for like a week on and off. So I go to urgent care and I use the bathroom first. I'm like, where's the bathroom? Okay, go single stall handicap bathroom. I go in, take a pee-pees. I had to take a pee-pees. Did it. And I got up. Ooh, I just told you I was sitting down peeing. Whatever, you don't know anything about me. You don't know how I take a piss. Sometimes it's standing. Sometimes it's from behind, pissing just like a dog. Anyway, that's not the point. I lock the door, I go to unlock it, and it just starts twirling, and I'm locked in the bathroom. My phone's at 4%, right? And so in my mind, I think like maybe an hour has gone between the thought of, oh no, I'm locked in and I'm gonna die in here alone. And no one will find me. They'll find my skeleton. Maybe a split second passed between those two thoughts. But to me, I felt like I had gone through every no, this is gonna happen. They'll get here soon. No, immediately I was like banging on the door and I was like doing this until the doorknob came off in my hand. And then I was like, oh, that's going in the sink. Ah! Screaming and banging on the door. I'm out the bathroom! I'm in there! And it was literally like I had been in there probably about 30 seconds tops. Tops! With the pee-pee. With the pee-pee. I was frightened beyond repair. And I just want to say, I'm having heart heaviness. I had been to the funeral the day before. I'm at the river's edge here. It's not okay. So I'm like, you're okay. It's okay that you went bananas in the bathroom and broke the doorknob. But I didn't really, someone else did, and it was left in my hands, let's be real. And so I'm banging the door. Mind you, I'm there to get an EKG, right? Which is where they check your heart rate and shit. So that's not boding well, right? So banging, and this security guy opens the door and looks at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like I have like had an episode and damaged their property, basically. Like that's how he's looking at me. And I'm like, it was locked. Like it was locked. I was locked in there, and he's like, "There's no doorknob," and I was like, "But the doorknob came off. You don't understand. It wasn't working." Like they wouldn't believe me, which is maddening, right? That's really the gaslight of it all. It's like, nah, there's no way. Nah, I'm sorry. That's not what he said, but his eyes said that. Because and then there was another security guard. She was standing by, like, no. Like scared to death that someone had been banging like that. It was loud, let's be real. And so I don't know if you've been to the Brooklyn Callen Lord, so that bathroom is like not very far from the waiting room of a room full of people. So after that happens and he gets me out, I walk by the waiting room. People are on the edge of their seat. Fuck. What happened, man? Like ready to like, is this like, are we okay? Like, shit they were like, what's happening? Security had been running. And then I just go and I stand at the thing like, and I'm just looking at people. And the security guard's like looking at me, what the fuck? And I'm like, I have an appointment. Like, like that's why I'm here. Like I got a real like, I'm okay. It seems like you have a problem. I'm fine. As long as I'm out of the bathroom, everything's okay. So then I go, and you have to, they're like, so now go to your appointment, go down the hall, then take a right, then take another right and do a hook. It's like some crazy thing, pod D, whatever. So I go to pod D, security guards following me, low key, literally thinking I'm just like I'm not well and I'm about to do some shit. And I'm just trying to be as normal as I can, which makes you more abnormal. I'm like picking up brochures, like, that's interesting. What do you know about that program that you had here? Wow, what a nice place this is. Like really trying to be, I'm normal. Look, and I had just told him previously that like my phone only had 4%, so I was like, don't look at your phone, because then he's gonna think you were lying about the phone. And I'm like, nah, put that in my pocket. I don't need the phone. Oh God. So I went in, I had my EKG and my blood pressure taken, and they were like, your blood pressure is very high, and you have to go to the emergency room right now. And I was like, well, I just had an episode in a bathroom, so the door came off in my hand. And the nurse is like, you know, there's a little cord next to the toilet that you can pull when there's an issue, which obviously they use for people who are like in wheelchairs and whatnot, who don't have the same access. So you just pull, and I was like, yeah, right. Pull the cord. That's all I had to do. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to try and jimmy myself out of there. And so I did go, I went to the emergency room, and which is, it's just a reminder of the fuck shit of our medical wasteland industry process. It's just sad chaos. There's like people running and screaming. There's like people like who've been there for like 30 hours who are like, I don't have a heart right now. And like people are like, police bringing people in, and then this happened. So they had to run some tests and take some blood and do that. I'm fine, actually. Everything turned out fine. All of my stuff was okay in the end. But they sent me over for an x-ray, and I'm just, you know, wearing a mask. I have my little Carhartt. I just look how I look. And I have my little tag. It has my birth name on it. It doesn't say Drea. It says my birth name, Andrea. So I'm standing waiting for an x-ray. I'm the only person there. And I heard the x-ray guy goes, my patient disappeared. And he walks over to me. He's like, what's your name, sir? I'm like, are you looking for this? I point to my little tag. You're looking for Andrea Campbell? He's like, oh my God. They need training is what I'm saying. They need training, because I got like I almost lost care. Which once you lose, they'll look at you, there's so much chaos and going on that they just jump to the next thing and then you have to wait another 6 hours. So I was like, but wait, no, like, so anyway, I got out of there, everything's okay, I got out of it. And it was a stressful day and I feel a little better, feel good, taking heart. Everybody, mind your health. All right, so is our next storyteller ready? Yeah. Our next storyteller was referred by a good friend of ours, and I'm going to read a little bit about you because I've never seen you before, and I'm excited to have you debut here at TEL. Hold on. Gagarin is an actor, artist, and the Russian twink son of Tony Soprano and Joe Pesci and my cousin Benny. Ooh, hi. With a passion for the classics and making queer art for queer people, they largely live in the world of devised and wacky physical theater. Gagarin is currently a curator with Hedge Pig Ensemble Theater and runs a low-cost, community-centered movement collective. Ooh, I want more info on that. Keep up with their shenanigans on Insta, which is hot cephalopods in your area. Said it, and I meant it. Please, everybody give it up for Gagarin. Yay!
Hello, good evening, good evening. Oh my gosh, and hello to all the people on the live. If my mother is on there, hi mom. She's calling in from New Jersey because she probably saw it on my Instagram and was like, oh my God. But anyway, so this is a story that I love to tell, but I don't tell it very often because it makes me feel very small. Because sometimes I think in our lives, we have stories where it sounds like it's out of a movie. And so then when you tell other people this story, you're like, I know this person thinks I'm lying about this story right now. Like, I know they think I'm just like really embellishing. But not, this is 100% true. I promise you. So, greetings, loved ones. Let's take a journey. Remember that line because it's going to come up again later. Setting the scene. I'm in college. It is around 2017, 2018. And I'm semi-recently out. And I'm very, very cool about the fact that I'm a virgin. I'm super on it. Sex is very, very cool with me. And I'm definitely not anxious or bothered by that and my attractions and feelings towards other people at all. Because I'm always very like, I don't need a lover because I have the theater, because I'm also in acting school. So I'm dedicated to my craft and that's all that I'm focused on. And as a part of that, I was a part of an ensemble that was doing a bilingual devising project in Santiago, Chile, with a few of their students at the Universidad Mayor and some of the kids at my college. So basically we got sent down to Chile for a week. And they were like, you know what? Let's house all the US kids in this country where the drinking age is 18, right next to the clubbing district. Let's put them right there. That's a great idea. So what turned into basically a week of us going out until about 3 or 4 in the morning, and then having rehearsal the next day at like 10:30 in the morning, culminated in a deep psychological unmooring of myself. Because I'm a person who likes to operate on 8 hours of sleep. So I was really going hog wild on that time. But the last night, we decided that we're gonna go to a gay bar. So cue the lasers, cue the fog. I walk in, and projected on the wall in front of me, 6 feet tall, is a woman in a bright blue wig, surrounded by cotton candy clouds, shooting whipped cream out of her titties. Yes, I am talking about Katy Perry's California Girls music video. Because in this lesbian bar, it was Katy Perry night. Which I looked at this and I went, it's Katy Perry night at the lesbian bar. And one of my cohort from Santiago, this person at the time, their name was Franny. They've given me permission to use their old name and their old pronouns for the sake of clarity in the story. But Franny turns to me and goes, Katy Perry is a lesbian icon. And this is also the first sentence that Franny has spoken to me all week. For your context, Franny has a platinum mohawk, is covered in tattoos, and is out of the, I'm gonna say 10 people that were in this ensemble, we are the only 2 gay people. So naturally, things are going in a direction, except that we haven't really spoken anything to each other because I don't speak Spanish and she didn't speak English. And we just have spent this entire week learning how to talk with our bodies, doing viewpoints and lots of other weird movement stuff, which leads to its own kind of level of sensuality and connection. So we're all dancing and we're having a lovely night, and I start to get a little bit tired, so I kind of step off to the side and I'm leaning against this pillar, watching some other Katy Perry video be projected on the wall, still thinking this is kind of an odd choice. And Franny like comes out of the fog to me, and she gets very, very close to me and she goes, from the moment I saw you, I knew that I have known you since I was born. Like I feel something in this connection with you. And I've been wanting to talk to you all week, but I've been so terrified to what would happen if we actually stopped to talk to each other. And I was like, oh wow, that's kind of crazy. And then she says, I've also been wanting to kiss you so badly. And I was like, okay. And she had also brought her girlfriend at the time out with us all. And she goes, and my girlfriend really wants to kiss you. And I went, okay. And then she goes, so we're gonna be in the bathroom. And if you want to meet us there, we'll see you. And so she disappears, she walks away, and the bathroom door is the bathroom inside has this sort of like seedy, like green lighting, and notably no lock on the door. And through that green lighting, I can see her she walks in, she opens one of the bathroom stalls, and all of the doors are sort of left gently ajar. And I'm kind of like, okay. And then my feet just start moving. And I like, frankly, thank God that I was drunk at the time, because if I think I was sober, I probably would have run out of the club and just run all the way back to New Jersey. From Chile to New Jersey, nonstop, marathon runners, you can't catch me. And when she made this confession, I think it's important to note for the movie aspect, I Kissed a Girl was playing. To which I was really like, universe, cool it. So I walk up to the bathroom door and I had a very distinct thought in my brain that was, I'm gonna die. Was this overwhelming feeling. And I think that there are stories in our lives that around, like, our entire universe hinges on this one moment. And the second that moment passes, things have irrevocably changed, or we've sort of been cursed to kind of live in the next waiting period until this next moment comes along. And these stories cost us something to share, which is why I don't tell this story all the time. And I want to leave what happened in the bathroom for me and Franny and her girlfriend. But I want to kind of reach through space and time for a second. And I want to whisper something into the ear of that, at the time, a girl who was standing outside of that bathroom door, completely trapped in something. And something that I don't think she knew how to describe. And I want to say to her, forgive yourself. You have learned to live in fear of your love. And you've been building this tiny little brick wall around your heart. You try your best to keep it safe and to keep yourself safe. But the walls of that containment are rotting, and they are rotting faster than you can try to shore them back up again. Because there is a want inside of you that rolls through with a black hole's crushing terror. And this is the thing you think will kill you. But it's not. This is the thing that will give you life. Because in that moment, I let that want and my own desire consume me for the first time of my life. And out of that one moment has come an entire story, a community, and growth that's truly made my heart grow bigger. And I want to take heart in knowing that that moment was not a death, but it was life coming for me at last, through the hands of all my future lovers and all my future queer friends who are lovers in their own right. And that also, that is not a one-time thing, because queer love is transcendent in a way that reaches through space and time. So I can speak to her then now, but then also last week, Franny was in Brooklyn playing a DJ set at Trans Picos. And she and I made out under the full moon.
Yeah.
And once again, we came together. It was funny because now both Franny, Nawaratha, myself, and their partner are all little trans masks on testosterone. And I don't think if finding each other in that way is, I don't know where I'm going with the rest of this, but I don't know, and I thank you all for letting me share that and really help us with this.
Yes, give it up for Gagarin. Everything happens in the bathroom. That's query dearies. Oh, honey, that's why they're trying to legislate our asses out of there. But we'll win. We'll win. We'll win, honey. You're not keeping us out of the bathroom. We will break them. We will fuck them. We will kissing them. That's right, bitch. We'll fuck in them, on them, around them, whatever. Meet me in the bathroom. Meet me in the all-gender restroom. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. That was very intimate. Thank you so much for, it takes a lot to share stuff, to share very, very intimate stuff like that. I really appreciate it. It takes a lot to just get up here and share a piece of yourself. We all know, except for you, Renee. Renee's like, it doesn't take anything from me, honey. Give me the mic. No.
bathroom, so.
Oh, honey, I bet. She's like, I know every bathroom, honey. I'll draw you a map. She's like, I have a map of the, I have a tattoo of the map of the bathrooms on my back. What? Do not try me. They're like pointing to your back in Congress on the Senate floor now. Here. I can't. Oh my goodness, wait. Oh, I have to bring our final, are you ready? Yes, you're gonna be amazing, by the way. I'm very excited to have you. This person who who also is a debut storytelling folk was referred by someone I met in DC, Maura, right? Who is awesome. Hold on just a second. Wait, Manatsu, you remember Maura? Referred, yeah, so this is all like queer connection, network, fun stuff. Kai Dates is an interdisciplinary writer, director, comedian, actor, and experimental contemporary performance maker. Ooh, oh my. Ooh, I'm fanning myself. They are a recent graduate from Muhlenberg College, receiving a BA in both theater and English. Ooh, very literary. Recent performances include The Moth. Okay, get ready. Story Slam and Storytellers, curated by Caroline Dunn and Hope Woodard. Lastly, oh, we love this. Kai is a Pisces Sun, Libra Moon, and I'm a Leo rising too. Yay! Give it up for Kai Dates. Love a Leo rising. Yay!
A fun thing about Leo risings is we're either seen as the life of the party or total know-it-alls. So
Both.
I am glad we can connect on that. So beautiful coincidence is that I'm also going to be talking about how hope can't be, we can't ask for hope from above and have to find it in ourselves, which just feels really like special to the moment we're in right now. And, you know, I really believe in the power of repetition. So I'm like, join me in this repetition of this, this belief, because I think it's really important. But yeah, anyways, I've been thinking a lot about Punxsutawney Phil recently. I think, like, okay, there's the whole Roman Empire trend of like cis men have their Roman Empire. I think like trans boys have Punxsutawney Phil and other little mythological beings. But yeah, so anyways, I do think about Punxsutawney Phil more than the average person.
Does everyone know who that is?
Nope.
The groundhog.
Groundhog's Day, like the one who predicts the weather.
Like a little
Yeah. Yes, like he lives in the town of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, in the library, like in this little like container during the, it's really sad. It's like,
That I didn't know, that's.
he escaped 3 times. And yes, absolutely. No. No, he really shouldn't. There's a lot in this story that he really shouldn't be having happen that we're gonna get into, but it's fun. It's gonna be lighthearted. So yes, the groundhog of Groundhog's Day who sees his shadow or doesn't. And this year I've been thinking about him extra because on TikTok, there's this guy and he was doing like a songwriters challenge, which like power to him. It seems really like I would love to have that much creativity at all times. He's writing a short song a day, every single day. By the time he got to me, it was like day 43. And so, you know, ideas are, we're grasping, and he had learned that the lore, the mythology of Punxsutawney Phil is that they don't, so that the groundhog is immortal. They don't change the groundhog. He apparently is given an immortality elixir by the like mythological mayor of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Yeah, which we caught, this is really dark, and I wasn't planning to go here, but since we're all invested, controversy, you know what I'm about to say, is that the the person who's like supposed to hold him and be like, he saw his shadow, dropped him a few years ago.
Yes.
I could go into a whole different theory thing around that of like, I'm so, like, what do we tell the kids? Like, I'm so interested in these stories that we tell children and ourselves, and when they shatter, like, I'm just like, and also just like, we gotta fix the animal abuse happening here. Like, there's like a lot of pockets happening that are really dark, but like, we have to laugh. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep getting into my story, but this is gonna keep coming up. It's so intertwined in the government of not only Punxsutawney, but like the federal, and that's gonna come up, don't even worry. But literally don't even worry. Okay, so, okay, another context about this for me. So as I said, I do think about him about yearly on Groundhog's Day. I'm from Southern California. We didn't have winter. And still it was like we are showing up to school that day being like, please no more winter. Like it is like 65 degrees out. I'm in shorts and like it's like, and I wanted to see if this is like a thing or if this is just specific to like my family or my town or something. The LA Times wrote about it this year in the year of 2024. And they said that I can really hear my voice. They said that sorry, I'm still they said that federal agencies, like they gave a stat that I didn't write down, that there was a federal agency that was looking into the statistics of like how accurate the groundhog is at predicting and how accurate he is in comparison to the 10 other groundhogs across the US and Canada, which I had to close my computer at that point because it'll be hours. So again, federal, like, are our taxes going to this research? I don't know. There are much more, like much higher concerns about what our taxes are doing, but it's on the list for me. So yeah, I come from a place with no seasons or like one season, however you want to see it. And I really didn't know until college that when I moved to the East Coast that you can really feel seasons like physically in your body. And I remember vividly the day I realized this. I was 18, freshly in college in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Shout out Punxsutawney Phil. Pennsylvania, it's deep. I just love it. So where was I going with that? Oh, so I was, having the freshman year experience of like, I'm walking to the grocery store. I'm basically frolicking. I'm like, everything is beautiful. I am finally away from my high school bullies. Like I am out and queer and people see me for me. And I was like, what is happening in the universe to make, like, there are changes happening in my body right now that feel very cosmic and very large and very big. And like, there must be something astrologically or like something going on, like having a very spiritual, like main character moment. And then I swear, and this is real, I look to my right as I'm thinking all this and I see a bright orange tree. And I was like, you fucking idiot, it's just fall. But self-changing. It's a whole season dedicated to change, and like the world around you is changing. Like, go to the grocery store, get some rice and beans. Like, humbling moment for sure. And I was like, I will never tell anyone this happened. And then obviously, clearly, as I'm standing here, I'm like a whore for attention. So I know that to everyone and continue to. But yeah, all that said though, I think like that was a period of time in my life, both moving to the East Coast and like entering college, where I really was truly changing. And like for the first time in my life, was surrounded by people who I feel like really valued me and saw me. And I learned to be brave and to like if I saw someone and was like, you're cool, I want to be your friend, I would just walk up to them and be like, we're gonna be friends now. Like, I believed it. And that was like a new thing for me. And I like learned to trust that I was funny or that my thoughts were important, that I like had artistry that meant something, you know, like I realized I was trans and started practicing that transness. I met my partner. Like, I feel like it really did align with like the idea of like moving with the seasons and like learning how to like feel them in my body. Like I was also simultaneously like entering like what it feels like to have joy in my body. Which also thinking about like living with the seasons, there's a current TikTok trend about like come with me for a day while I live seasonally for the winter. And there's no shame to those girlies doing that, but I do enter a spiral where I'm like, how did we come, like capitalism and imperialism and colonization have taken us so far that like, it is like a trendy, radical political thought to be like, I'm gonna go to sleep a little earlier. I'm gonna wake up a little earlier. I'm gonna cook some hearty soups. And I'm gonna light candles. Like, I'm just like, we are mammals. We are meant to hibernate. So anyways, my mom is done. And segues are weird and hard. And so well, thinking about that, and like, okay, so my mom died very suddenly and traumatically, and so I try to sort of keep that shock factor in my work and let you all sit with the information. I too was shocked. I mean, I have to cope somehow. And this is gonna connect. Don't worry. Don't worry. Where was I going with that? Dead mom. I know it's so sad. It's so sad, you guys. It's like really, really sad. I don't super want to get into it, mostly because I can't really decide if it's like very disrespectful to my mom's memory or like a really great honor to like link her in a set about and storytelling about Punxsutawney Phil, the immortal groundhog. Like it feels very jarring, but I think I'm leaning towards honor because my mom like was the type of person who would like befriend the raccoons in our backyard or like would be like made a friend today, and it was like a picture of a seagull at the beach. Things that have happened to me. So I like, mom, please flicker these lights if you're here. Like, so good. My friends and I like were doing a bit in our household where every time my roommate said something, my mom would flicker the lights, and eventually she got bored and stopped. And then my other roommate started doing it, and my mom started flickering the lights again to encourage the other friend to do it. It's been fun. So my life has been a little bit of like an ongoing crisis and nightmare. It's sort of what I'm getting at. And I think that like the systems in place are not built to hold like my grief and my experience, and like I'm not unique in that experience at all, which is where I kind of zoom out to like our world at large, and like we are in just ongoing crisis. And I think about like our ongoing disabling pandemic, the genocide in Palestine. I think about really big too soon losses that are happening on a community scale, like Cecilia, like was just around my mom's age. And so there's a lot of grief happening that I think this space right now is like a perfect example of actually what I'm trying to get at, is like these systems aren't built to hold our grief and our feelings and our processing, because what comes after that is that feeling of hope and that feeling of wanting to move forward and think towards the future. Like I'm sitting in my seat, and I wasn't very familiar with Cecilia or know her personally, but I'm like sitting in my seat at this being like, God, this makes me want to like do something and be better and make this world better. And like, that's what these systems are trying to take from us by not giving us grief spaces. And like, I think, yeah, I'm just thinking about that. And I think I'm still very surprised by like how with all of this going on, like there is so much time and space and thought. Motherfucking groundhog. Let's talk about it. Like, historically, it is a very natural, normal thing for cultures and groups of people to turn to mythological and supernatural. But I think that like our Western US colonial, imperialist, capitalist, all the things society has really like co-opted that. And then instead made it this like, let's explain away things. Like I was just sitting in disbelief this year being like, of course the groundhog predicted early spring. Like the US is fossil fuels, like our parents don't have those. Like they can use it then to provide this sort of false sense of hope or joy or optimism, and it's empty. And like, but then we can explain it to children. But how much as adults do we carry that on? And like, why is my TikTok full of people being like, Phil ate this year? And it's like the Barbie soundtrack to Phil being like, cascade. Like, it's like, you know, I think we turn to that as a site of hope and joy as well. And I also feel ridiculous turning to systems of oppression and using a metaphor of a groundhog, but I appreciate that you're all with me and it's so easy to do. And I think that like, the answer to why we do that, I think, is pretty dark and is sort of what we were already talking about earlier in this evening about like, we're looking for certainty and for answers, and we tend to look above us. We look to these beings and we look to like governmental bodies and these places that can hopefully give us that sense of like, our future is okay, our future is secure. But my sort of pitch is that we stop doing that and turn to each other, because like, in the same way that a groundhog is not going to predict the future, like no one's coming to save us except ourselves and each other. And there's this theorist and lawyer, I love Dean Spade, who's an awesome trans activist, and he defines mutual aid as collective coordination to meet each other's needs, usually from an awareness that the systems we have in place are not going to meet them. Those systems, in fact, have often created the crisis or are making things worse. Mutual aid directly meets people's survival needs and is based on a shared understanding that the conditions in which we are made to live are unjust, which I think is our answer to the whole Punxsutawney Phil saga. And when we zoom out sort of like to at large what we are doing with these ongoing crises and these ongoing collective feelings of grief and despair, and our world is so fucked up, what do we do? We stop relying on these big systems and the governmental figures and the capitalist systems and all of these things, because they're not going to save us. And like they were built to do the opposite. And we really turn to each other and like teach ourselves that hope can be built and found within each other. And we really believe it. And I think like, when we turn to these beings, we're playing pretend so that we can feel hope. Like we indulge for a minute so that we can just even get to like feel hopeful and optimistic. But like we can feel that in a way where we don't have to play pretend. And that's through things like mutual aid and liberation work and these practices. So yeah, I also think moments of indulgence, like my Punxsutawney Phil TikTok musical, are deeply important. I'm not the world's worst intellectual. Sometimes shit isn't that deep and it's just fun. And that's also great. But maybe instead of turning to these figures to find hope, we can learn that the power is always already ours and each other's. And that this is another Dean Spade reference, that powerlessness is an illusion that's learned, that keeps those in power empowered because we envision our own powerlessness. And we instead build hope together through direct, immediate actions, solidarity, and movements. Free Palestine. Thank you all.
That is how you end a story. Free Palestine. Venmo at BGSQD. Viva Cecilia, forever and ever, siempre. Cecilia! Cecilia! Presente. At some point, I haven't confirmed the date yet. I am going to have a tell the theme that is themed simply Cecilia, and gonna have people tell stories. That's forthcoming. I don't know what the date is yet, but it might be the official 10th year anniversary. still things in the works. But anyway, I want to bring up our storytellers. Come on up, everybody, and talk about our amazing storytellers. I'll pass the bag one more time, even though you probably gave, you can still pass it around if you change your mind. Hi, come on in. Give it up for these amazing. And Gilberto left, but we love Gilberto. Oh, we're gonna take a look at it. Yes, thank you. Yeah, go to Tell Queers on Instagram. Come visit BGSQD and purchase books and buy Faltas, give to Cecilia's GoFundMe. And you know, support each other and listen to everything that these amazing people said tonight. Thank you. Thank you online folks, the three of you.